Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a good one for you this morning. When will this market take off? When are we getting rich, right? I mean, isn't that what we all want to know? Well, I can tell you on the front end, I don't know, but I think we're going to take a look at some very important things today that will let us know what is in the works in the future. So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here today. Right now, 1.7 plus trillion for a crypto market cap collectively. Bitcoin at 55,000, coming down here to the number 7 spot, courtesy of the dereliction of duty of the SEC. XRP is sitting at 0.4709. Right now, we are up 9.31% on the 24-hour and off by 1.7% on the 7-day. We'll keep an eye on it. We have a lot to go over today. Let's go ahead and get started. NFTs, non-fungible tokens, are really going to revive the collectible memorabilia, intellectual property, music, art, you name it, patents. I mean, it's amazing what's happening here. Cristiano, I guess Ronaldo, I think is how you say his name, NFT tops LeBron James's dunk and sells for $290,000. That's how quickly this is getting moving. And then here we see from iTrust, a shout out to iTrust Capital. And there's a link for all of this in the description and comment section, by the way, but they are doing a giveaway, a NFT giveaway. So make sure you hit the link on that and check that out as well. And by the way, in 5+ hours from now, we're going to see this brand new category on .cryptos at Unstoppable Domains. Click the link and wait for the time to unlock. There's a lot of affordable ones. These are really obviously expensive ones at the top, but if I just scroll down quickly for you to see what is going to come available in just over 5 hours from now, there is a lot. Interiors, apartment lease, dream house .crypto, rents .crypto. These things are phenomenal. And I see one or two I might like, but I'm going to tell you, if I say it, then somebody's going to grab it and try to sell it to me. So anyway, there it is. You see a lot of really great .cryptos right there, ladies and gentlemen. So you have a little over 5 hours for that. Let's get into the news. So this is from XRP Crypto Wolf. Americans could spend $40 billion in their stimulus, or of their stimulus, for Bitcoin and stocks, a new survey says. And, it makes sense, right? Everybody's looking for a place to go. The economy globally has been shut down deliberately. You can argue all day whether it should have or wouldn't have. That's irrelevant. It has. So people are looking for things to invest in. And, I think this gets funnier as we go, because where is Gary Gensler's confirmation? Anyone? Want to phone a friend? It should have been done. Why is it not done? It is a shoe-in, and we know that the left in the U.S. right now, and the government has control of all three, the executive branch, House, and Senate. This is not something that should take a long time. Why is he not confirmed yet? Just a thought, not a sermon. Looking here, DJ Peter Vass says Grayscale Investment prepares to launch a cryptocurrency ETF. I read this article, so you don't have to. And basically what they're talking about here is they have not filed for a recent ETF. Van Eck has. And I think to note, Van Eck is a company that usually does work with regulators and introduces products like ETFs. They've been turned down before in the past. We will keep an eye on to see if Van Eck gets approved, and if Grayscale should file, they could get approved as well. But currently right now, they are hiring for positions at the firm Grayscale for ETFs. So they are obviously intending to make that move at some point. Here, this comes from XRP Crypto Wolf. Shark Tank's Mr. Wonderful says Wall Street investors need to know how their Bitcoin is mined. Really? Kevin O'Leary said. I want to entertain you with this little quick, I don't know, minute and a half, but it's like 45 seconds and 45 seconds. Let's listen right here really quickly.
Well, when facts change, I change. And what changed and what kept me out of, I actually owned personally crypto since 2017, but couldn't talk about it because, as you recall, the regulators, particularly in large financial markets, including U.S., Canada, Switzerland, France, Britain, the Eurozone, were not really on side with Bitcoin for quite a while. That has obviously changed in the last 90 days when we saw for the very first time an ETF emerge in the Canadian market as Canadian regulators allowed it to occur.
So he's pointing to the fact that, before it really wasn't cool. It wasn't within the regulator's scope. And now it has become that, at least in Canada, right? So he's pointing to that. But let me take you now to this little fancy spot right here, and then we'll discuss.
Of the large institutions that I talk to, they have two committees to concern themselves with regarding crypto. Before it even gets to the investment committee, which would decide on an allocation, it has to go through the sustainability committee, because there's a whole new metric around the concerns people have around sustainability, about the origin of the coin. Was it mined in China? Is it mined in a country that's under tariff or restrictions with the U.S. government? All of these new provenance concerns, which were not on anybody's mind when crypto was simply the purvey of the hedge fund or the retail investor, now it has to have a new standard. And now that standard is, where did it come from? How was it mined? Was it mined sustainably?
Well, there it is. Was it mined sustainably? I mean, these are things that matter here, right? To the bigger investors like Kevin and the groups of people that he's working with in his investment funds and arena. So here I showed this while he was talking. It's Monica Long talking about podcast solution, being on the podcast solution to address sustainability in crypto and the steps that Ripple is taking to reduce crypto's carbon impact. I've said this before. Everything pre-mined gets placed on the ledger, and all of a sudden everything has the same settlement time. That's consistency in a market. And that's how you get things to work together as a federated layer, as one single layer, which is actually multiple layers acting as one. Here's another comment from Monica here. With stats like these, Bitcoin energy consumption this year could equal all global data centers. Crypto market participants need to actively work together now to bring the green energy revolution. We can't just sit back and passively expect it to happen. And that's based on CBS's Bitcoin's price is skyrocketing, and so is its carbon footprint. So here, let's be fair, right? This is not just about Bitcoin. There's also trouble with Ethereum. There's also problems with XRP. We're being sued like crazy, right? So this is Bitcoin's hurdle, right? And I do believe that market regulators and regulatory framework is going to address this issue because it just won't go away. I think Bitcoin makes it long term, but I also think there's going to have to be some alterations with sustainable energy and things of that nature. And maybe even, I've suggested this, a carbon tax or a cap gains placed on miners before they're told to place it on the ledger or have it represented on something like Flare Network or the XRP ledger, however it goes. So, okay, so now this is moving over. We're not picking on any just one. Okay, let's look at what used to be the top three. This is Ethereum having trouble with gas tokens, right? Gains 300% as the quest for Ethereum network alternatives expand. Well, if they're not careful, it's going to expand to Cardano and Flare networks, and then it's going to be a ghost town, and the gas fees will be charging tumbleweed for blowing around on that network. So if they're not careful. So, okay, so now we're looking here. Let's be fair, right? Let's look at the hurdle for XRP. XRP got trouble. Yeah, we're being sued by the SEC and other people in class actions as well. So they're full disclosure. I'm not beating up on any one coin, right? So don't send me the hate mail. Over 6,000 people, however, XRP holders volunteer as third-party defendants in the Ripple lawsuit. Shout out to John E. Deaton, who has just been absolutely amazing in this, as well as Jeremy Hogan and XRP attorney and so many others out here that have really led the charge to just bring on either some great insights and perspectives or to take on a full issue like this, like John has for the XRP space, so, and all the people in it. And he has made an impact, and I don't think he's done making an impact. So he says Johnny Deaton, claimed that XRP holders had suffered $15 billion in losses in the days immediately following the SEC's announcements of its lawsuits against Ripple. And let me move to this right here just to expand outside of the case that John is pursuing. And I'm very grateful that John is doing that because he's really got the SEC back up against the wall because he's gotten them to tell him that XRP is not really a security, so they can't deal with him in his case, but yet they're suing Ripple saying that you in fact are a security. They are talking out both sides of their mouth at this point, and it's because of John that he's brought that to the forefront, and I really thank him for that. This here says Ripple asked the court to force the SEC to produce documents regarding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ripple accused the SEC of withholding potentially exculpatory evidence, claiming that it's clear the crypto exchanges were told that XRP wasn't a security. Uh-oh. Looks like trouble. SEC squirming a little bit? Yeah. I don't think anybody broke this down really as good as Wrath of Conman, so shout out to Wrath of Conman here. The letter Ripple filed today asking for the SEC docs has some big claims that will define this case. They are asking for docs claiming the SEC is withholding relevant, potentially exculpatory evidence by not handing over communications. You go down here to this thread, and this is important. Based on information gleaned to date, it is clear that the SEC was told by sophisticated market participants that XRP was not a security. Even after soliciting feedback, they ran with this until December 2020. He goes on to say, they argue directly a consideration of the Howey test should consider that the SEC shaped the character of XRP and other digital assets in commerce and what market participants could expect. He goes on to say, seems like they were going hard to get the SEC communications like they know something, because of course they do. Had to have spoken to some of the exchanges. Coinbase said they would. Shout out to you, Wrath Common. This thing gets uglier and uglier as the day goes on. I wonder, in my mind, what in the world is the judge at this case thinking with this stinking mess? I mean, this thing has just turned into a dumpster fire, has it? It's bad news. It's bad news. Anyway, when will all of this end? When is this market going to have this issue, or actually just the Ripple case and the settlement of this? Because I do believe that this, case needs to settle and have legal precedent to help define the entire digital asset space. I really do believe that, because Ripple is a company that has private equity, and it's also a company that has use of the Ledger, XRP Ledger, open source technology, which does take advantage of the XRP token as a native token of that ledger. And I do believe that that is a new element. Ethereum doesn't have that. Bitcoin didn't have that. And Ripple, XRP, by the way, was the second coin on the scene. So, and the first one to be in that particular business model and that structure. So I do believe we need to see legal precedent for that, so we can see how the market will take shape afterwards for all companies that develop things of that nature. So, looking at it, I have to say to myself, I think things settle down, at least when we figure out the central banks of the world release CBDCs, because I believe this is all about remaining powerful, in control, and relevant. And if you're not using a central bank digital dollar to be on and off this digital space, which, by the way, everyone tells us from every level of government to regulator, this is the new way. This is the new financial system. This is going to be the internet of value. We're not wrong about that. They're telling us these things. That's why they're being sued at all at Ripple, right? I mean, it is the obvious sign that they are cleaning up this space and defining it, and they're going to begin to define it with a unified framework at some point going forward, because you can't continually decide to regulate through just enforcement. There has to be some kind of rules on the field, so that's where we're at here. And I think it really comes down to this. It comes down to the central banks getting their CBDCs launched. And here we see a tweet from DJ Peter Vass, which I just love. Commerce Bank claims digital euro is central bank power grab. Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the party. I just want to highlight and share with everyone again, for those that believe that's, any coin is going to come out here and just take off and willy-nilly just go on up to $1 million, albeit Bitcoin or XRP or any other coin, without any, blowback from governments around the world and regulators, you're living on planet Xanadu. Okay, I could tell you right now, what that means is if you believe that, what you really are saying to everyone you talk to and share that notion with is that I believe that central banks have, knowingly created a private ledger on the XRP ledger open source technology, but they're just going to willy-nilly let every other coin just go to $1 million on its own and just watch us dissolve our relevance and our control that we've had forever since central banks have been on this planet. It's not going to happen. It's not going to. That dog don't hunt. So there we are on that day. DJ Peter Raz also shared European Central Bank may get more power to regulate cryptocurrencies. Well, of course they will, because they're not giving the control up. That's what CBDCs are about. It's about them saying, hey, you know what? We'll embrace this technology and we'll be able to referee this game, right? It's exactly what's going on. And before we get out of here, I do want to share with everybody here that Spark token is $1.61. Yeah. The drop hasn't happened yet that I'm aware of. I think if someone's told me, I think it's around June, if they're correct about that. I'm not 100% sure myself, but I do know it's supposed to be, the first drop is supposed to be a 15% drop of your total 1-to-1, and then 3% each month thereafter until you've been awarded all your tokens. That's how I understand it. So, okay, so with that is going to wrap us for that. I do want to remind everybody, we covered this yesterday, that patent reveals Ripple's ODL can be used by banks, governments, and corporations. Yeah. See why they're getting sued? Because they have to have legal precedent before they put all of the world's money on this new payment rail. Don't believe that. It's still true. As of February 21st, over 400 banks are a part of RippleNet. That means there could be other companies on RippleNet that are obviously not banks. However, according to the ODL patent now assigned to Ripple Labs, the system can transmit anything of value beyond currencies. The XRP ledger enables real-time gross settlement of, listen to this, other digital currencies, stocks, bonds, securities, and much more. According to the service, it can be valuable not only for banks, but large corporations, government entities, NGOs, and companies seeking to move value through Ripple's network cheaply and instantaneously. There you have it. And I, on that note, am wrapping this one for today. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below, share with somebody you know, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Check out all the links in the description box and the comment section. They are trusted, vetted links, and I can tell you right now, I use each one of those products and services myself. So make sure you check those out, and I'll catch all of you on the next one.